Luka Doncic has a problem that nobody in the NBA has been able to fix. In just his second season, Luka broke basketball, averaging a near 30-point triple-double, and we immediately saw him as a potential top 10 player of all time. Now, in season 8, that story has changed. Fat, overweight, can't play defense. We have heard the criticism, but skinny Luka just dominated Eurobasket and was nominated for Best Defender of the tournament. So, that's not the real problem. However, Chris Paul, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook are future Hall of Famers who would have a much higher historical reputation if they had won a ring in their prime. And just like Chris Paul, Luka does not have an MVP or a title. Not great, but even worse, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, his direct draft class rival, now has both. Luka is about to turn 27. We know he is on a revenge warpath, and we know he's in his apex prime. But time is running out, so today, together, we're going to decide, even with all of the Lakers drama, is this the season that Luka launches himself back onto his own generational path? Which means first, let's ask ourselves, is 27 too late of an age to become an all-time top-tier NBA legend? It might be. Luka's story will need to break the LeBron or Jordan mold at the very least, because here are some of the most notable names in basketball history, along with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who could be on a generational path of his own with the way he's played and the roster he has on the Thunder. But focusing on this chart, as we can see, LeBron and Giannis both won their first MVPs at just 24 years old. Wow, Jordan won his first at 25, but that was only his 4th season. And even Jokic had won an MVP by year 6 at 26. Not great for Luka, but we already need to question if Luka is the victim of voter fatigue before he's ever won an MVP. Last season, Luka was not eligible for the MVP award because he did not play in enough games. But in just his second year, Luka finished 4th in the MVP voting, and overall, from years 2 to 6, Luka was not only in the top 8 of MVP voting every season, but he was also named first team All-NBA in each of those years. He has been an all-time great for his age. From 2020 to 2025, Luka averaged a combined 30 points, 8.8 rebounds, 8.7 assists, and 1.3 steals a game. This is on elite efficiency. Amazing. But recently, we've heard a lot of fat remarks and the James Harden comparisons. That Luka is an offensive superstar, but his defense just takes too much away. But James Harden won an MVP himself. Several offensive-based superstars have. So is this fair to Luka, or is he being screwed over? A tough question to answer, but we are digging into the data to get there. And before we continue, I am very excited to thank Perplexity for sponsoring today's video. Meet Comet, the new AI-powered browser from Perplexity.ai, built for people who don't just browse the web, they do things with it. Comet isn't just another search engine, it's your all-in-one assistant that helps you research, plan, and take action all inside your browser. If you're planning a trip, ask Comet to create you a walking tour of 5 major locations, starting with the Tower of London, and then apply it to a map. Comet will then create that map and provide you with time, routes, and insider tips, all from one location to the next. It's like having an insider guide that actually listens. And here is the best part. The browser normally costs $2,000, but you can get it for free. This is a limited time offer. All you have to do is click the link down below, and also you'll get Perplexity Pro for free for 30 days. Make sure to claim that now before this offer expires. Visit perplexity.ai/comment or click the link below in the description and go try a $2,000 browser for free today. Thank you to Perplexity for sponsoring today's video, and now let's get back into that video. While Luka may never reach GOAT status with LeBron or Jordan, here is a different list to look at. MVPs who won their first award at the age of 27 or older. At 27 years old himself, Luka could jump right on this list, and we see Steph Curry, yes, a 4-time NBA champion and 2-time MVP, who also just happened to change the game of basketball basketball forever with his shooting. Every single name on this list could be argued as a top 10 player of all time. 3-time MVPs in Magic and Bird, known as the most dominant single-season center in the post-merger era in Shaq, and Kobe, who did not win his first MVP until the age of 29. Promising for Luka. So while Luka does have the problem that he needs to start winning these awards quickly, as we can see right here, there is historical evidence that shows us that he can end up as a generational player we remember forever. And the public believes he's going to do this. I recently ran a poll asking how many MVPs you guys thought Luka would win in his career, and the majority of people said at least 2, which is definitely nice, but even better is how Luka holds up to this historic competition. When we compare Luka to the top 10 players of all time who won multiple MVPs after the age of 27, Steph Curry, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson, here is where things get crazy. We are looking here at each of these legends' stats in the 3 years leading up to their first MVP year compared to Luka's stats in the last 3 seasons. And as we can see, Luka has a tremendous advantage in points per game, and then his rebounds and assists per game are both second. Incredible. But what about his advanced stats? Well, when we dig into those, Luka is either first or second in PER, true shooting percentage, value over replacement player, box score plus minus, and turnover percentage. Even better, Luka is pretty much doing every single thing we could possibly want from a future MVP, and now, with his new skinny frame, his defense might be what tips the scales in his favor. But with that said, as we know, Luka has had other criticisms besides just defense. Too ball dominant is one criticism that immediately comes to mind. And the goal is of course to be fair here, so here are some potential problem stats for Luka that if he cleans up, will get him that MVP. His usage compared to these other legends is extremely high. Luka takes a lot of field goal attempts, and even as the clear star on his team, his win shares per 48 minutes are a bit low. However, even being fair, I'm curious if you agree, are we not looking at every possible sign that Luka is headed for a massive MVP type run soon? Especially when we consider that he is now out for revenge in a way that he's never been before. Nico Harrison and the Mavericks not only disrespected Luka by trading him, they also fat shamed him so often that it's been reported a beast has been awakened inside of him. For the first time ever, we suddenly saw skinny Luka on the cover of magazines all off season. We saw videos of him working out relentlessly, and then we saw him obliterate the competition in the Eurobasket tournament, averaging a tournament leading 34.7 points per game to go along with 8.6 rebounds and 7.1 assists a night, proving that Luka was not only skinny, but also the loss of weight did not hurt his game, it only improved it, and it improved his defense. Yet still, because a lot of us are Americans, and a lot of Americans did not watch the Eurobasket tournament, many people doubted if Luka was about to load up on donuts and watch as his weight soared before the season began. And I get that, as the saying goes, sometimes seeing really is believing. But to end the preseason, there was Luka dominating as usual, but now in his new and improved in-shape body. This weight loss and muscle game is not only incredible for Luka's defense, it will help him tremendously with injuries. Yes, Luka carried the Mavericks to the 2024 finals, but he did so with knee bandages that were literally showing blood on them. This does bring up an interesting question though. If Luka could take an underwhelming Mavericks roster to the 2024 finals while he was out of shape and not fully healthy, what do we think he could do with the Lakers roster if LeBron locks in and gets on board with Luka as option number 1? A lot of people have been writing off the Lakers, and I understand that. Marcus Smart and DeAndre Ayton are 2 huge pieces of this roster, and both are looking for career restorations in one of the highest pressure markets in the entire NBA. But after playing in some of the worst situations in basketball, both Ayton and Smart have indicated they are locked in and very, very happy to be playing with the Lakers. If things do go well with this roster, they will be a contender if healthy. Only, even with that in mind, there is still one gigantic problem standing in Luka's way. Or should we say 2 problems? Because to begin this year, both Nikola Jokic and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander are the betting favorites to win the MVP over Luka. This is where team success might come into play, but it's also where Luka might have the ultimate advantage. Every season, Vegas sets a line of projected wins for each team, and that line matters because if you exceed expectations and you are the star carrying that team, team, you will reap the rewards of credit. The Thunder's line is set at 62.5 wins. The Nuggets, with their roster upgrades, are set at 53.5. As for the Lakers, they're just at 46.5, the same as the Pistons and the Hawks. LA is not expected to be a top seed this year. They are not expected to be a real title contender. But I think we can all agree, until recently, it was said that you could not count a roster with Luka Doncic out. Let's remember, in 2024, he led the Mavericks not only to the finals, but on that run, he beat the Thunder in 6 games in the second round. And let's also keep in mind something just as important. Luka's mindset coming into this season is that he still has everything left to prove. If we compare Luka to his direct NBA competition in his age bracket, Luka, Tatum, Shea, and Anthony Edwards were all drafted within 2 drafts of each other. We do see that Luka has the most first-team All-NBAs, but no one cares about that. Tatum has a title, and Shea, of course, has a title, a Finals MVP, and a regular season MVP. We have seen one great player push another great player before. Larry Bird won 3 straight MVPs before Magic Johnson won his first. But then after Bird's run of wild dominance that I think goes a bit underrated, Magic went on to win 3 MVPs himself and 2 more championships, with Larry Bird pushing him as a rival, and of course with his own talent shining. Magic Johnson left the game as the greatest point guard to ever live, only recently challenged by Steph Curry. In the last 2 seasons against his own peers, the numbers do not lie here. Luka does lead in points, rebounds, and assists per game, but some would say those are the glamour stats and that Shea is certainly a worthy rival. Tatum is hurt, that hurts him in this conversation, but Shea is not only healthy, he is on the defending champions and the best roster in the league. Looking at advanced stats, Shea also has Luka beat in 5 major categories. But as the saying goes, iron sharpens iron. The motivation for Luka to fulfill his potential, to fix his biggest problem, and to finish as an all-time legend has been ignited inside of him. He was traded, he was fat shamed, his rival is ahead of him, which means now this could be a season that decides everything. History could be in the making for Luka Doncic, but also we cannot deny time is starting to run out. And there we have it. Thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, I think you're really going to love this video that's about Cade Cunningham and Paolo Banchero and why they are future superstars the NBA is just not promoting enough. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting. You are awesome. We all know it. And as always, have an awesome day. And due to some criticism in the comments, cue that ending.